My friends, tonight I want to speak to you about a simple truth, yet one so profound that it determines the entire course of your life. That truth is this: your mind will believe whatever you repeat to it. Understand this well, for it is not just a casual statement, it is the very foundation of all creation, all progress, and all failure. You see, we often believe that our circumstances shape our thoughts, that what happens to us molds who we are. But the reality is far more powerful and far more sobering. It is your thoughts, repeated silently day after day, that give birth to the circumstances around you. Your inner repetitions are not idle murmurs. They are blueprints for the life you are building. The silent phrases you murmur to yourself when you are alone, the quiet assumptions you make about yourself and your future, these are the architects of your world. Whether you are aware of it or not, your life is a reflection of the loudest and most frequent voices in your mind. Every man, every woman, every child becomes nothing more or less than the sum total of their most persistent thoughts. The great secret of life is not hidden in a sacred text on a dusty shelf, nor is it reserved for mystics or scholars. It is hidden in plain sight, in the quiet, persistent whispers of your own mind, waiting for you to recognize its power. Consider for a moment the power of repetition. Understand that it does not matter whether a thing is objectively true or completely false. If it is repeated often enough, your mind will accept it as reality. That is why propaganda can sway nations, why advertising shapes entire cultures, and why simple affirmations have transformed broken lives into thriving ones. The mind is like a field, a fertile, ever-ready field that is impartial and obedient. It does not question the seed you place within it. It simply nurtures what is planted. Plant seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, and those weeds will grow wild, choking out possibility and joy. But plant seeds of faith, courage, expectation, and you will reap a harvest of miracles. The soil does not care whether you plant thorns or roses. It will simply multiply what you give it. So too with your mind. It is never the soil that decides the crop. It is always the seed. And the seed is the thought you choose to repeat. When you understand this, you realize that the smallest phrase spoken consistently is more powerful than the loudest voice spoken once. When I say, your mind will believe whatever you repeat, I am not speaking in metaphor alone. I am describing a spiritual law. The creative power of God within you does not question your instructions. It does not argue, reason, or resist. It simply accepts the command of your inner voice. Think of it like a loyal servant that acts without debate. Repeat to yourself that you are weak, and that servant clothes your body in weakness. Repeat to yourself that you are strong, capable, and worthy, and that servant dresses you in power and ability. Every repetition is like a brushstroke on the canvas of your imagination, each stroke adding color, depth, and shape until a picture emerges, a picture that becomes your reality. Your mind is an artist, but it paints only what it hears most often. And whether those strokes depict beauty or ruin depends entirely on what you tell it. For it believes all things you repeat with feeling and persistence. This is why Scripture tells us, let the weak say, I am strong. It may seem paradoxical, but it is profound wisdom. This instruction is not denying the presence of weakness. It is not pretending or living in denial. Rather, it is a conscious act of training the mind to believe in strength. You may feel sick, but you repeat health. You may feel poor, but you repeat abundance. You may feel broken, but you repeat wholeness. Why? Because repetition plants a new image, and life always mirrors the dominant image held in the mind. This is not self-deception. It is alignment with the law of consciousness. Your outer world is always catching up to the assumptions you make internally. And those assumptions are not random. They are formed by the words you say over and over, both aloud and in silence. What you confess, you eventually possess. How many times have you seen someone speak so often of their failures that it becomes their very identity? They say, I can't do it. I'm not smart enough. Nothing ever works out for me. And soon the world seems to echo those words back in circumstances. They are not cursed. They are simply reaping what they have sown in thought. This is not some mystical magic. It is a psychological and spiritual law at work. The mind does not distinguish between a statement of fact and a statement of feeling. It only knows repetition. The more you repeat a thing, the more it feels real. The more it guides your actions, and the more it shapes your results. So I ask you tonight, what have you been repeating to yourself? Are your words lifting you higher, or are they chaining you to mediocrity? What sentences have you allowed to build the walls of your destiny? The tragedy for many people is not that life withholds blessings from them, but that they unknowingly deny themselves through careless repetition. They rehearse their problems more than they rehearse their dreams. They speak of lack more often than they speak of plenty. They give more attention to their pain than to their potential. And then they wonder why life feels cold, why opportunity seems scarce, why hope feels distant. But life is not withholding, it is simply responding. It is like a mirror reflecting back the image you present to it. Change the image, and the reflection changes. Change your inner language, and the outer world will rearrange itself to fit your new confession. Your life is nothing but the echo of your inner speech. When you understand this law, you will begin to guard your words with care. You will no longer speak idly, for you will see that every idle word is a seed, and seeds do not disappear. You will no longer casually say, I'm broke, I'm unlucky, I'm unlovable, or these phrases, though spoken lightly, are received seriously by the subconscious. They take root, and given enough time, they grow into experiences that confirm them. Instead, you will learn to deliberately declare, I have all I need, I am favored, I am loved, I am capable. At first, this may feel uncomfortable, even unnatural, because your old repetitions have built strong habits of disbelief. But persistence is the great equalizer. Persist in these declarations, and they will become as natural as breathing. Your mind will change, and when it does, your life must follow. Do not expect instant change. A mind that has been trained for years to expect failure cannot overnight believe in success. But repetition is stronger than doubt, stronger than fear, stronger than memory. Imagine a single drop of water falling on a stone. One drop does nothing, but 1,000 drops, or 10,000, carve channels through solid rock. So it is with the words you speak. Each repetition is a drop. Repeat an idea long enough, and the stone of resistance will yield. Your mind will accept it, your feelings will embrace it, and your life will begin to reshape itself according to this new inner picture. Remember, life always follows the pattern you repeat most often. Understand also that repetition does not merely shape belief, it shapes identity. This is an even deeper truth. For what you repeat about yourself eventually becomes who you think you are. Every phrase you use to describe yourself, every I am statement, every casual remark about your nature is forming the character you are playing in this world. Say, I am shy, and without even realizing it, your body, your voice, your choices will obey that command. You will shrink in rooms, hesitate to speak, and the world will confirm your assumption. Say, I am confident. And though your knees may tremble at first and your voice may shake, something within begins to rise. Your posture changes, your words find strength, and slowly others begin to see you as you have declared yourself to be. You are not a fixed being carved in stone. You are fluid, shifting, responsive to the words you feed your mind. This is why it is so vital to speak only that which you wish to become, for your repetition is writing the script you will perform. This is why prayer is so often misunderstood by those who treat it as a plea to some distant deity. Prayer is not begging. It is not the desperate cry of someone hoping for a miracle from afar. Prayer is alignment. It is training your inner speech to match the reality you wish to experience. When you pray, you are speaking to the creative power within you, planting seeds in the soil of your mind. If you pray for health, but then say all day, I am sick, I am tired, I am weak, you cancel your prayer with your own words. But if you dare to persist, even when symptoms scream otherwise, and say, I am whole, I am strong, I am renewed, you are training your mind to accept health as its truth. And when the mind accepts, the body follows. Circumstances shift, and what was once unseen becomes visible. For life is nothing more than your faith made tangible, and your faith is built, word by word, in repetition. I have met so many who say, Neville, I have tried affirmations, but they don't work. And I always ask them, how long did you try? And they answer, oh, a few days, maybe a week. My friends, repetition is not a casual pastime. It is a discipline. It is the steady work of building a new reality brick by brick. You do not build a cathedral in a week. You do not change a lifetime of habits in an afternoon. The mind, though powerful, is like a garden that has been overgrown with weeds for years. To plant new seeds is easy, to tend them daily, to water them when they do not, yet sprout, to pull the weeds of doubt that keep returning. That is the work. So do not be discouraged if the soil seems slow to respond. Keep at it. Persist when it feels false. Repeat when it seems foolish. Repeat when nothing changes. For behind the scenes, something is happening. The subconscious is aligning. Your unseen world is preparing, and one day, suddenly, you will walk into the very thing you have been declaring. Remember this always. Your subconscious does not argue with you. It has no wit, no sarcasm, no humor. It does not analyze your words and ask, does this person really mean it? No. It simply accepts whatever is spoken with feeling. This is why careless words are so dangerous. When you say, I am dying of laughter, your subconscious hears only, I am dying. When you say, this is killing me, it hears, I am under attack. It takes you seriously. This is why Scripture says, life and death are in the power of the tongue. Words are not trivial. They are creative forces. Every sentence is a command, and the subconscious obeys. So learn to speak life deliberately. When you are tempted to joke about your pain, stop and replace it. When you feel fear, do not speak it aloud. Speak courage instead. Make every phrase a seed that grows into something you would welcome into your life. When you wake each morning, before the noise of the world rushes in, you are standing on holy ground. That first moment of the day is fertile soil, soft and ready to receive seed. Speak your desires then as if they are already real. Say, I am at peace. I am successful. I am loved and loving. I am surrounded by good. Let these words become the music you hear before the day begins. Do not wait for your circumstances to give you permission. Your circumstances are shaped by your words, not the other way around. When you begin each day by declaring what you wish to see, you set your inner compass. Throughout the day, you may be pulled by winds of distraction, but the inner compass will keep you steady. Make this a habit. Let your mornings become your secret place of power, where you repeat your truth until it feels natural, until it feels undeniable, until it becomes your experience. Think of the athlete who does not only train his body, but his mind. Before the race, before the competition, he lives in victory in his imagination. He rehearses every move, sees every obstacle, feels every triumph. He repeats phrases of power, of focus, of certainty, until his mind and body are in harmony. That is why, when the moment of performance comes, he is not surprised. By success, he is simply following a script he has already written. Likewise, your life will obey the repetitions you give it. If you say daily, I am capable, I am wise, I am favored, then when opportunity comes, you will meet it without hesitation. You will not shrink back because your mind has already rehearsed the win. Victory is never born in the ring. It is born in the mind, nurtured in repetition and revealed in action. Some of you may still say, but Neville, what if I repeat something that is untrue? Isn't that just lying to myself? My answer is simple. That is the whole point. You are not repeating what is. You're repeating what you choose to bring into being. Faith, as the scripture says, is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You do not wait for evidence before you speak. You speak until the evidence arrives. The mind is not a historian keeping record of what has happened. It is a creator, ready to mold whatever you tell it. So speak boldly. Speak of health when you are sick. Speak of wealth when you are broke. Speak of love when you feel alone. Your mind will believe what you tell it to believe, and when it believes, life has no choice but to align with that belief. Do not fear mistakes, my friends. If you catch yourself speaking negatively, if you hear words of doubt or despair escape your lips, do not condemn yourself. Do not fall into guilt or frustration, for the mind is not a judge. It is a servant waiting to be directed. Simply pause, breathe, and replace the negative phrase with one of intention and power. Say, that is not my truth. My truth is this, and then affirm the reality you wish to create. Over time, this deliberate correction becomes habit. The old repetitions, though deeply ingrained, will gradually fade, drowned out by the stronger, more frequent declarations of your chosen truth. Understand this, the mind is merciful. It will bend to the voice it hears most often. The strongest voice is not always the loudest one spoken in public. It is the consistent, persistent voice you repeat in the privacy of your heart and mind. Let that voice speak what is noble, what is pure, what is life-giving. I urge you to be intentional about the words, images, and sounds you allow into. Your consciousness for repetition is not limited to your own voice alone. The mind absorbs everything it encounters. What you watch, what you read, what you listen to. All these are repetitions that influence the soil of your inner world. If you fill your mind with fear, anger, or chaos, do not be surprised when these qualities manifest in your life. But if you intentionally surround yourself with words of hope, teachings that uplift, visions that inspire, and conversations that encourage, your mind will repeat and magnify them. Make your environment your ally. Let it support your inner declarations rather than contradict them. Guard your senses as you would guard the gates of a sacred city. Feed your mind with truth, beauty, and love, and you will discover that life itself conspires to reinforce your chosen repetitions. Repetition is the hidden architect of your environment, as well as your inner being. When doubt inevitably rises, and it will, for the mind resists change, do not wrestle with it. Do not give it power by arguing, judging, or fearing it. Simply return to your repetitions. Speak your phrases again. Visualize your reality again. Repeat your vision until it becomes more real than the shadows of doubt that briefly appear. Doubt is like fog before the rising sun. It may obscure for a moment, but it cannot withstand the persistent light of repetition. Let your words and your mental images shine steadily, day after day. Let them become the unshakable truth within you. The fog will clear, fear will dissipate, and when the mind has heard the same truth enough times, it can no longer distinguish between imagined and real. It simply acts as if your declarations are already manifest. Repetition is the lamp that illuminates your path through uncertainty. This law of repetition works in small things as well as great things. Perhaps you desire a calmer mind. Repeat peace. Perhaps you want a stronger, healthier body. Repeat strength. Perhaps you wish for greater joy. Repeat gratitude. Never underestimate the cumulative power of seemingly small words spoken often. Each repetition is like a brick in the foundation of a new reality. At first you may see little difference, but over time these words accumulate layer upon layer until you are living in a house that your mind has spoken into existence. Do not despise the small efforts, for they compound invisibly. Every morning phrase, every intentional sentence, every private affirmation is shaping you in ways unseen. So be patient, consistent, and confident. The world may seem unchanged at first, but the unseen forces of the mind are already working, aligning reality with your persistent declarations. Some of you tonight may hesitate to speak aloud the dreams that stir within your heart, thinking them too large, too impossible, or too foolish. You fear judgment, criticism, or ridicule. I tell you this, speak them anyway. Speak them first to yourself, even if no one else hears. The mind does not care about the world's opinion. It only hears your voice. It only obeys your repetitions. When that voice is certain, when it has heard itself declare the same truth, hundreds, even thousands of times, no power in the world can stop it. Your repeated words carve paths where none existed. They shift obstacles, dissolve fears, and compel circumstances to conform. The mind follows the path of repetition. So speak boldly, privately, fearlessly, and often. Your repetition is the plow that tills the soil of your future, making it ready to receive the harvest of your dreams. I tell you this because I have seen it with my own eyes. I have seen the poor become prosperous, the sick recover, the fearful become bold, all through the simple yet profound act of repetition. There is no elite class of people reserved for this law. It belongs to every human being equally. Every person is capable of shaping reality by choosing the words they repeat. The only question is, will you take up this discipline? Will you dare to speak life to yourself again and again until your inner world becomes undeniable? Will you persist when it feels unnatural, when it seems false, when circumstances have yet to reflect your declarations? Those who do, I assure you, will see miracles unfold in their lives. The power is in your hands. The instrument is your mind. And the method is repetition. So tonight, as you leave here, remember this essential truth. Your mind is the soil. Your words are the seeds, and your life is the harvest. Whatever you repeat, whether noble, foolish, fearful, or courageous, will grow and manifest in time. Choose your words with care, as you would choose the finest jewels or the most precious treasures, for they determine the reality you inhabit. Speak what you wish to become. Repeat it until belief replaces doubt. Believe it until you see it. And when you see it, you will understand that it was not the external world that changed. It was you. You changed by repetition, by faithful declaration, by the insistence of your inner voice until the truth you spoke became flesh. This is the law, simple yet inexorable. Repeat, believe, manifest. The power is yours, my friends, and it is immediate, infinite, and eternal.